Half a day. My name is Gerald Asuncion and I am a student attending the University of Guam, and I am also a summer fellow of the 2018 CHAP cohort. So, the objective for my field experience is to assess fast foods, processed foods, and salt-added consumption among selected youths in Guam during the summer of 2018. The participants recruited from my field experience included male and female children from the ages of 8 to 10 years old who were enrolled in a youth team during summer of 2018. For my field experience, a food frequency survey was created using concept questions adapted from existing online surveys. The questions were selected based on inquiry of consumption of fast foods, processed foods, and added salt. Processed foods were divided into canned foods containing meats, such as corned beef, and instant-made foods, such as instant ramen. The food frequency survey was administered to participants recruited for the field experience. Participants also had the option of completing the survey in traditional format, which was paper and pencil, or an online survey. The survey data were entered in a spreadsheet and analyzed using EpiInfo. Demographic data were stratified by age, 8 years old, 9 years old, and 10 years old, which was 33% each. Ethnicity, which was Pacific Islanders and Asian, were both equal with 50% each. And sex, male 67% and female 33%. The frequent consumption of foods were summarized by fast foods, canned foods containing meat, instant-made foods, and condiments. Open-ended questions were categorized based on participants' answers. After analyzing the data from my surveys, I wanted to give back to the participant by presenting an infographic video on the topic of hypertension, or also known as high blood pressure. I'll play the hypertension video at the end of this video. Anyways, for my results, according to AHA, or the American Heart Association, most people consume too much sodium or salt unknowingly. The average adult and child in America consumes about 3,300 to 3,400 milligrams of salt. The recommendation of sodium intake for adults and children is less than 2,300 milligrams per day. So for my field experience, I examined the behaviors related to dietary salt intake, including fast foods, processed foods, which included canned and instant-made, and condiment consumption of youth athletes ages 8 to 10 years old enrolled in a youth team during summer of 2018. Results found that all participants ate at fast food restaurants. 83% ate canned foods containing meat, 92% ate instant-made foods, and 58% frequently add condiments such as ketchup and soy sauce to their meals. The findings of my field experience are also consistent with other findings on children in the Western Pacific region. A cross-sectional study conducted in the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Islands, or CNMI, assessed the diet of 420 CNMI children ages 6 months to 10 years old. The study reported that the consumption of meat, saturated fat, and sodium, such as canned and processed meats, were double the recommended amount. Additionally, it was reported that the U.S.-affiliated Pacific Islands consumes the most Spam luncheon meat compared to the United States. A limitation of my field experience is the results of the small sample size and the non-representative nature of the survey distribution. In addition, the food surveys was limited to frequency of consumption of a specific group of foods, which was fast foods, canned foods containing meat, instant-made, and condiments, and multiple choice options which may have limited the participants' responses. The biggest challenge that I faced was scheduling. Originally, I had wanted to conduct my field experience in 3 sessions with the organization that I partnered with. Another challenge that I faced was the response rates for my survey. When I noticed I was not getting enough response rates for the traditional paper and pencil survey, I turned to using an online version which proved to be way more effective. In the end, I was able to analyze my data in time before the write-up summary was due. What I found most valuable was pretty much everything that I've experienced while being in the program. From flying out to Hawaii, meeting new people, getting standardized, and conducting my field experience. I just know that everything that I learned in the program will help me become a better version of myself. Anyways, I would like to say a big thank you to my mentor, Dr. Paulino, the CHAP organization, my CHAP fellows, and everyone who has helped me with my project. To my future CHAP fellows and advice, you know how you get frustrated and it seems like nothing is going right. It's important to work hard, yes, but it is also important to put some time off to rest and give yourself a break. Well, without further ado, here is the infographic video on hypertension. Day, my name is Gerald Asuncion. Today, I will be talking about hypertension. Ever heard of hypertension? It's also called high blood pressure. So what is hypertension? Hypertension makes it difficult for your heart to pump blood. Think of it as an air pump pumping in air in a tire tube. The pump represents the heart, the tube represents your blood vessels or the artery, and the air going into the tube represents the blood that's flowing in the artery. In a good artery, blood flow is fast and there is no pressure. But in people with high blood pressure or hypertension, blood flowing through the artery isn't as great. You can see that there's that pressure building up, and every time you pump, it gets harder. Why is hypertension bad? Hypertension is a disease that you cannot get from simply touching someone like the common cold. This type of disease is called a non-communicable disease. Hypertension can be caused by poor diet and lifestyle choices. It is a disease that affects your health. If left untreated, hypertension can affect your brain, vision, heart, and kidneys. Hypertension contributes close to 1,000 deaths a day. When comparing Guam and the US, Guam has higher rates of death that is related to high blood pressure. What are some causes of hypertension? One can be family history. If your parents or other close blood relatives have or had high blood pressure, there's an increased chance that you'll get it too. Second is age. The older you are, the more likely you are to get high blood pressure. Next is gender. Men are more likely to get high blood pressure than women. Other causes include lack of physical activity, stress, drinking too much alcohol, smoking, and tobacco use. Lastly, an unhealthy diet, especially one high in sodium, can cause high blood pressure. Good nutrition from a variety of sources is critical for your health. Making healthy food choices can actually help lower blood pressure. A diet of fast foods, canned foods containing meat, and instant-made food such as Spam and Ichiban increases your risk of high blood pressure due to its high sodium content. Or salt. Salt can increase your blood pressure, so eating too much of it can increase your risk of hypertension. Most people eat too much salt in their diet that they don't know it themselves. The average adult and children consumes about 3,300 to 3,400 milligrams of salt a day in America. However, the recommended sodium intake is actually less than 2,300 milligrams a day, or 1 teaspoon. There is no cure for hypertension, but you can prevent and decrease your risk of getting high blood pressure by choosing a healthier lifestyle, improving your diet, being physically active, and of course, having annual checkups with your doctor. It has been found that being physically active for at least 30 minutes a day and eating a balanced diet is a great way to prevent getting hypertension.